Good day everyone, this is Alvin again from the Philippines and welcome to my final prediction for Mr. Supranational 2022. Welcome! So this is already my final prediction for Mr. Supranational, which is going to be on the 16th of July for, of course, in Poland. So it's going to be 17th here in the Philippines. Apologies for my voice because I'm not really feeling well because of the weather. And for this final prediction, I have already considered everything. The preliminaries, everything that I've seen, everything that I've read, everything that I've heard, and of course, their performance as well when it comes to the super chat, because that is my basis on how they do when it comes to public speaking. And as what I have said before, and that's what I have posted on my Instagram, as we follow the pageant, it's not really, the performers could really do well in this pageant, but the real game changer here is the way they behave when it comes to the observation period or during the competition. And we're always surprised by the result, especially with the candidates who is not making the next cut. But because I believe the best answer there is there must have something that have happened behind the scene on why they didn't advance, even they gave a good performance. So having said that, expect that there will be a lot of surprises in the finals. But again, this is my choice, my personal choice. So here's my current top 20, and as I count down up to my winner, I will be also giving some stars to the men who I considered as someone who belongs in my winners circle, which means these are the men whom I think could potentially win regardless of their placement in this leaderboard. So let's begin, starting with my number 20, the Dominican Republic, Luis Echevarria. I think he gave a decent preliminary performance, plus he speaks very well too. He's actually very fluent in speaking in English and even his own language, of course, and he's really good at it. And having said that, I am assuming that he would score very high in the closed door interview, which would really change his placement overall. So as of the moment, top 20 for me. Number 19 goes to Nepal, SANISH SHRESTHA. My heart really wants Nepal, even just in the first cut. If he would go far, that would be a bonus. But I would be brokenhearted if he will not be given a placement. He speaks very well. His performances were okay, and he's got the best from the ground up project. And I have mentioned that on my Instagram, and I believe that is a satisfying reason for him to at least get a placement in the first cut. My number 18 goes to Greece, LEONIDAS AMFILOCHIOS. I'm not sure if it's just me, but he seems a little bit shy during the preliminaries. That's what I have observed on his performance, and I was a little bit sad because he's got the looks and he impressed me during the super chat. So I wish he stepped it up a little bit on the finals. So if he does, expect him to go a bit higher than this. My number 17 goes to El Salvador, ADRIAN ITZAM. I also think El Salvador is worthy of a placement. He was great during the preliminaries and even the past performances. I also love his looks that separates him from the rest. So I'd love to see him make the cut. My number 16 goes to the United States, Keith Williams. He was just okay to me during the preliminaries. He didn't really make me wow, but it was, I believe, good enough for the first cut. His performance in interviews would be something that I would expect for him to ace, so that would give him a boost for his points for sure to make it in the first cut. My number 15 goes to Poland, JAKUB KOWALEWSKI. He was one of my favorites, to be honest, and I even feel like he could go as far as top 10 or even top 5, but his preliminary performance was a bit of lackluster to me. I was expecting a little bit more. And if he could give us that in the finals, then expect him to go up as well. My number 14 goes to Puerto Rico. Heriberto Rivera. I am really on the fence when it comes to Puerto Rico. I'm not sure if he still have something more to offer or if what we saw was already his best. Although he is one of the best looking candidates, but I want him to work a bit on that spark because I felt like it's lacking. Hopefully he'll prove me wrong in the finals. My number 13 goes to Peru. NICOLA Roberto. I have to be honest, I was a little bit disappointed with the preliminaries. Probably because I was expecting so much, simply because he's the one defending the title. So my expectation was really high. However, it could be me only. Let us not forget that he gave one of the best performances during the Super Chat, so that could leave probably a lasting impression to the judges on the finals, hopefully. And as of the moment, I'll just leave him at this spot. I could see him advancing to the top 10 too. But for now, number 13. My number 12 goes to Cuba. Luis Daniel Galvez. Based on everything that I've seen, I think this is the spot that I'll give him. But I am also open to the possibility that he might make top 10. And I even saw Cuba or other fans putting him in the top 5. I can also see that as a possibility. His performance in the top model was the kind of performance that I wanted to see in the finals. Because if he could give us that, then he's definitely going to place much higher than this one. Because the one that he gave in the top model isn't parallel to what I saw during the preliminaries. So hopefully, he could give a performance that is as good as the top model or even much better than what we saw. My number 11 goes to Indonesia. Matthew Gilbert. I believe he's our favorite Mr. Supranational Indonesia ever. He's very charming, very likable, and his preliminary performance was very decent as well. Don't be shocked if he also makes it in the top 10. I'm not sure how they do in public voting because Indonesia didn't make it in the top 10 fan vote based on the latest updates. But hopefully, performance-wise, he could do it because I would really love to see Indonesia advancing to the top 10. My number 10 goes to Korea. Han JUNG-WAN. He's actually one of the slayers during the preliminaries. He certainly delivered a solid and flawless performance. And if he will be rewarded a spot in the top 5, then let it be. I wouldn't mind at all because this one is working hard for a decent spot. And whatever he'll get, it's definitely something that he deserves. If he gets a top 10 or top 5, I'll be happy with it. My number 9 goes to Thailand. TEENARUPAKORN MUANGMAI. Just watching him in Super Chat made me feel like he's got one of the best personalities in this batch. I just love his very fun and outgoing energy, and he just transforms into a competitor when he's on stage. This is a candidate that really prepared for this competition, so he deserves a good placement. My number 8 goes to Italy. Giuseppe Santagata. I have so much love for Italy. I think he's one of the nicest and sweetest candidates that we have this year. And even with the way he speaks during the Super Chat, he's just a man filled with wisdom and sincerity. And I was cheering for him when I was watching him in the preliminaries because he was great. He did really well and I was so happy. Which is why I think he deserves a top 10 spot. But also, I'm giving him a star because he deserves it. And I am actually seeing a possibility of him winning as well. And having that only means that he's also in my winner's circle. If he makes it in the top 5, I believe his possibility of winning could really increase very high because what I've said earlier, speaking is one of his strengths. My number 7 goes to Malta. Ron Bonsfield. If you have been following me on Instagram, you know that he's one of my ultimate sentimental and personal favorite. I mean, he's extremely handsome. He's a great speaker too, and I'm hoping that he would smile more and give us a bit more confidence on stage because that's something that was lacking during his preliminaries. And he's got the looks, he's got the body. He just needs to be confidently himself on stage. Also, he's one of the men in my winners circle, because personally, I'll be the happiest person in the world if Malta wins Mr. Supranational. My number 6 goes to France. Pierre Bondon. I think his performance in the preliminaries was one of the solid ones and one of the strongest. I wouldn't even be surprised if he'll penetrate the top 5 because he's that good. It was actually a very flawless and solid performance, and he's actually very confident in carrying himself as well. He's actually top 5 worthy, but I felt like the top 5 men on my list is the list that I prefer more. But if France will be considered by the judges in the top 5, then I'm okay with that too. Now, let's proceed to my top 5. Hi! I am so sorry. Let me just go ahead and interrupt you a little bit. Please don't forget to follow me on my Instagram account, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also if you wanted to support my channel, you can do so through this. Okay? Please don't forget. And let's go ahead and go back to the video. Bye! My 4th runner-up goes to Spain. Manuel Endele. Based on everything I've seen, he could really be a potential candidate for the win and one of the men with high possibilities of finishing the top 5. If he steps up his performance and styling, especially on the formal wear, by just some few notches, he actually might convince the judges in the finals that he deserves to win. Also, one of the men in my winner's circle. My 3rd runner-up goes to... Are you ready? Mexico. Moises Peñalosa, clearly the best performer during the preliminaries, and I couldn't ask for more. Based on the performances, I believe those were enough reasons to put him in the top 5. But whether he'll win or not, that would depend on who he'll be against in the final round. And obviously, he's also in my winner's circle. And let me just say this. If Mexico wins Mr. Supranational, he would be one of the best winners ever. I mean, performance-wise, he just got it. I'm just looking for more of that authenticity, because although he's good and confidence is good, I didn't place him as my winner because he's actually bordering overconfident in a way, and that's the quality that I do not see in the previous winners of Mr. Supranational. It's good, it's a little bit too much for how I view Mr. Supranational. Of course, I could be wrong, and if he win, then slap me, because I'll still be happy if he does. Now let's proceed. My 2nd runner-up goes to Vietnam. Bui Xuan Dat, one of the strong performers of this batch too, and I'm so glad that he proved that he deserved all the hype that I did and that I gave to him from the time he was announced as Mr. Supranational. I'm talking about placing him very high in my leaderboard ever since. He just proved in this competition that Vietnam could be the next powerhouse for male pageant. I mean, do I see him winning? Of course. He was actually my winner in his group for Super Chat, so do not underestimate his speaking capabilities. My 1st runner-up goes to, I believe none of you expected this, Belgium. Jentel van Horbeke. I'm not sure if it's just me, but Belgium gave one of the best preliminary performances in my opinion. Both are solid performances, and aside from that, I'm sure he would earn some love in his closed-door interviews because he's definitely one of the guys to watch out for if the battle involves speaking. He's well-spoken, very deep with his thoughts, and I felt like, in a way, he kind of embodies the Mr. Supranational title. We all wanted some surprise, and he's the surprise winner that I would love to see. Also, in my winner circle. So, I was actually, let me be honest, while I was finalizing my list for this final prediction, I was actually considering Belgium as my winner, but I was comparing my number 1 and my number 2. Who do I think will I be sure of? I need to consider first, who am I sure of making the top 5 between the two? And I felt like my number 1 has higher chances of making the top 5, And if both of them makes it in the top 5, I would still stick with my number 1. So having said that, my prediction for the winner of Mr. Supranational 2022 goes to Argentina, Angel Olaya. I was a judge in Superstar Search where he competed in, and as I was judging, I told myself that if I am going to choose a winner to go to Mr. or Miss Supranational, because it was a combined pageant, I have to choose someone who has a very strong chance of winning. And when I submitted my result to the organization on whoever will win Superstar Search, my choice to win was Angel. And I was super happy when he was announced that he's the winner of Superstar Search. I was not surprised at all, because honestly, watching him during that different performances impressed me, and I do see the potentials that he could do really, really well. And right now, watching him transform and evolve from there, I am extremely proud. And his From the Ground Up project was also one of the best ones, and I can surely imagine and visualize the organization working with him on that project. But right now, win or not, he gave a winning performance in the preliminary of Mr. Supranational, and I really hope that he could level it up in the finals. And as of right now, he gave us justice by giving a winning performance overall, and I really hope that this will translate to a victory. But then again, whatever the result, he's my winner as of today, my Mr. Supranational 2022. So that's it. This is my final prediction, and I am looking forward to your commentaries as well. What do you think of my entire ranking? Do we have the same top 5? And who surprised you the most in my final prediction? Don't forget to leave your comments below. Don't forget to give a thumbs up and share the video as well. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe, because you'll be seeing more of these videos in the future. For now, thank you very much and have a wonderful day from the Philippines.